Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your great support always. I'm so grateful for your continued support to this channel. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Nakwambia Kenyans, wonders shall never end in this world. Revealed as Ruto is building a 1.2 billion Kenya shillings church at Statehouse. William Ruto is building a church worth 1.2 billion Kenya shillings in Statehouse. Now, William Ruto is like quietly overseeing the construction of a massive church within the grounds of Statehouse. Does it mean that also we are going to have mosque? Does it mean that also other traditional churches are going to be built in Statehouse? This is just simply lost of priorities. And I want you to listen how the NTV at Fix It, NTV Fix It, has deliberately explained it very well. And you will understand why William Ruto is wasting our money. Before you watch, ensure you like the video. When you like the video, you automatically support the work that I'm doing in this channel, because sometimes you watch and you forget liking the video. So this is just a reminder. As you watch, please consider liking the video. Thank you so much for that like.
Revealed Ruto's 1.2 billion shilling church at Statehouse.
What?
Yep. Controversy. According to recent satellite imagery, the building is already coming up near the presidential helipads. President William Ruto is quietly overseeing the construction of a massive church within the grounds of Statehouse, Nairobi, in a move that raises questions on the constitutional separation between church and state. Nation has seen detailed architectural designs and drawings of the imposing structure that is expected to have a sitting capacity of 8,000 and cost
8,
hundreds of millions. Yes.
8,000.
Like the prosperity gospel churches of the 90s. 8,000. I don't know if we need to belabor what the issue is here. Let's start with
just read the story.
I read the story before I bring the issues.
Kanisa iko wapi? Pastor ni nani?
Okay.
What denomination is
that
it?
story is on page 2 and 3. It says that we've talked about that headline. It says, as the towering cathedral rises on the House of the Hill, questions about the constitution that separates church and state, amid fears that public institutions are being turned into personal pulpits, and how far Ruto is willing to merge faith and governance. So, as we said, Nation has seen detailed architectural designs, and that the estimated cost is of this seating capacity of 8,000 is 1.2 billion. It's not clear if the cost will be met by the taxpayer. The cathedral-like building, designed by Scare, I believe, Architects Limited, features twin crosses on its rooftop and a tall, narrow, claustro-style windows flanking the central edifice. It says that Nation sought to establish the rationale, constitutionality, and total cost. It goes on again to say that President Ruto had previously stated publicly his intention to build a church to underscore his Christian faith. He used they talk about how in his Karen residence it used to host religious leaders while campaigning for the top seat in 2022. At the time, he dismissed critics and vowed to construct an even larger one if elected. So, red flags, guys. They were there.
Earlier this year, during a church service in Dagoretti, Nairobi, he said, "There's a special field that I am working on, specifically meant for people who pray, those who preach." He said this on the 11th of January during a service at the United Pentecostal Church of Kenya in Dagoretti North. "I want you, the clergy, to come and bless that field once it's ready. I'll invite you so that we can talk." The architect on record is Scare Architects, and the Nation reached out to them for comment regarding the status of the project. At first, the architect denied undertaking any construction at Statehouse. When presented with images and designs of the building showing that the company is in charge, the architect questioned why Nation believed the structure was at Statehouse. He later hurled insults, stating that nation should stop bothering them about this project. Subsequent phone calls, texts, email reminders went unanswered. The church's design adopts a monumental neoclassical modern hybrid style, like you told us. Inside the church, 4 rows of main sanctuary seating with capacity for up to 8,000 worshippers, multiple entry points, storage rooms, toilets, and circulation corridors are incorporated for crowd control. There are 2 prayer rooms on each side of the main auditorium and various auxiliary rooms. You know, there's a book in the Bible that describes when God was giving the design of the temple that was to be built by Solomon. It talks about, it goes into great detail of where, it sounds like this is what I'm reading here. The vertical structure has 2 main levels, the sanctuary floor and 2 upper seating galleries. The galleries are laid out in a circular auditorium design in an amphitheater format to ensure visibility of the pulpit. The interior also includes 4 individual prayer rooms and 1 large family room. An exterior view of the church at night features LED lights at the entrance and large see-through glass doorway.
Okay, there is no church big enough that can absolve the issues that are happening in the country. Ata ukijenga the size of 17 hotels, it does not diminish the issues that need to be addressed. Number 1. Number 2, we really need to start separating state and church because it's a weaponization. I think it's also an infringement on other people's religious beliefs because you're platforming and centering one over the other. And number 3, it just gives God-like demigod posturing. I will have the biggest house. 1.2 billion. Then I'll also renovate Statehouse. I'm just going to use billions. It's okay. Hiyo mambo ya capitation tutaisort baadaye. Hiyo mambo ya SHA mnaongea sana, si tutakam. Let's first build this massive church. Then we'll be able to help you. We'll pray. And I always say it's a delicate personal thing. Prayer is powerful, but the weaponization of it is what really gets to me. Yeah.
Couldn't have put it better. No, I'll just leave it at that. Honestly,
this is shocking.
Mariam has no Latif is just like, what is going on?
Where is 1.2 billion shillings to build this church coming from? Is it coming from taxpayer money? If not,
listen,
where?
Statehouse is not private property.
Yes.
If it was not coming from taxpayers, then we'd have to question how private money goes into public property.
Yep.
Okay. So that's number 1. So the easiest route is just for you to assume that the money being spent in this public property is public money. Okay. Because anything else now there, you've gone left.
I'm telling you, there's nothing more dangerous than people who center themselves above the institutions. And even as, again, S went wrong, username says, no, Paul Minor says, Statehouse is public residence, just to your point. And he says, so what happens if the president, after Ruto, is Muslim? Anajenga msikiti.
Then the next one is a Hindu, then he
so
builds a temple, and so on and so
on.
Or
is this a multi-faith place of worship?
It doesn't give multi-faith. Maybe that's an assumption, but it doesn't.
It has 2 crosses at the top.
Yeah, because most of these places have chapels.
Yes.
That's sufficient. You have a chapel within.
And a prayer room.
And a prayer room in case you have your Muslim brothers and sisters.
And you're good.
Those are sufficient. You have rooms. You don't need 8,000 seating capacity to prove what? To prove your faith.
I know. What are the other headlines?
Jam. Sawa.
What else?
Samahani. It's one big story.
Sometimes you think you know everything that's going on, but there's always just something. There's always something
new.
Yani William Ruto ana hata aibu. So inamaanisha in future tukiwa na president ambaye ni Muslim atajenga mosque. Tukiwa na president mwenye atakuwa Muhindi watajenga temple. Tukichagua president ambaye atakuwa MSDA tutakuwa na Adventist Church. Yani, it is so funny that William Ruto has turned Statehouse his own property. His own property. It is sounding as a shock, but that is the reality. That is the reality. I will say again and again, when William Ruto was sworn in the office, this man was so clear on what he was going to do. But as we speak, is opposite. Is literally opposite. The man ameenda ka change Statehouse yetu yenye ilikuwa na symbol ya maana. Sasa ni kama supermarket. Unadhani mall fulani. You know, this is like an heritage. We have some buildings with change. You know, you can just renovate it. Not really by removing the structures, but kupaka rangi, kufanya kununua hata furnitures mpya nini hizo. But when you look at exactly what William Ruto is doing, is deliberately someone who understands what he's doing intentionally. And when I heard this, I was shocked. Then this is what William Ruto is doing. It is mind-boggling. The man is busy building a church worth 1.2 billion Kenyan shillings. When William Ruto anapanga asitoke State House? Anapanga asitoke? Kenyans, what do you think? Because for me, what I'm looking to see how Kenyans are going to react on this. Because we have churches across the Republic of Kenya. Why build a church in State House? Inside State House. Tena ile itabeba watu wengi sana. About 80,000 people. For what reason? When we are saying this, it doesn't mean ati sisi hatuendi church ama tupendi Mungu. Hapana. Just imagine he is a president. We must have a differentiation between the governance and the religion. So tomorrow utasikia Waislamu wanasema hata hao wanataka mosque yao ikuwe State House. Wahindi watasema tunataka temple yetu ikuwe State House. Wa Seventh Day watasema wanataka Adventist yao, Adventist church ikuwe kwa State House. Wale warao msalaba pia. It is so funny. So funny. William Ruto has turned State House like a market. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of your great support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Till we meet in another video.